another Archon up, but that Archon again is going to get picked apart. Again, having to retreat because of those Mutalisks. And just, oh man, Mutalisks being produced. I think Savior's just going to dedicate to Mutalisks and just overwhelm Free now. He's had those expansions up for a decent amount of time. He's got a gigantic both production and economic advantage now. It's just going to be a few seconds here before he just has a huge force. He's getting that second Sun Colony down. Free really doing what he needs to do, though. He's keeping Savior on the defensive. He's making sure that Savior can't push up into his main. Right now, Free only has basically cannons defending his main. Those Zealots aren't going to do anything against those Mutalisks. But wow, the Air Force grows and grows here, and 3 sunken colonies down. Doesn't look like they've been really touched at all. Free's going to try to produce a Corsair and basically rely on those Corsairs and those cannons to defend. He does have 2 Archons up, going heavy anti-air, but if Savior has, and again going for that northern expansion, but Savior's basically going to cut that out. Basically take it out of Free's hands very quickly. 2 Corsairs there again, but just a huge Air Force for Savior. And Savior, oh wow, he's Free trying to draw those Mutalisks over to the Archons, but Savior not falling for it. And again coming down with these Zealots, again trying to keep Savior on the back foot, but those 3 southern colonies should be able to... Wow, that's actually more Zealots than I thought would be there. And let's see if Savior is able to respond in time and take care of that Zealot attack at that southern expansion. Free doing a very good job, in my opinion, being at a distinct disadvantage, but using kind of basically Savior's spread out position and dedication of Mutalisks against him. Free did manage to get that out, so he's back in this game if he can keep that expansion at the 12 o'clock position. I don't think those Mutalisks took it out, but not still being dominated economically, still being dominated in production, still a lot of those Mutalisks out, which kind of keeps his movements to a minimum. But maybe that was actually, I'll take it back, that might be a Pyrrhic victory, because what that does free Savior up to do is that does free Savior up to basically go right after Free's main. And as you can see, he's not kidding around anymore. He's going to just dump about 6 Sun Colonies down, and he's going to bring these Mutalisks up and just start pounding. And let's see if it looks like he's going to pull back and actually stay in defense. I'm surprised if Savior at this point again went for Free's main. I don't think Free can stop that attack, and it looks like he is starting to do that. Savior is just camping out, making sure Free isn't expanding anywhere else. As soon as those cannons go down, that's going to be game, and a huge Air Force there, and trying to get that Corsair in there, pulling that Corsair back out. It looks like a decent amount of Corsairs out, but the Corsairs again having to fall back because of this huge amount of Mutalisks and just those Corsairs just waiting for those Archons to come up in position, trying to distract Savior so he can basically do as much damage as possible. Savior doing a very good job of spreading those Mutalisks across the building, trying to keep those Archons from getting a free shot at his Mutalisks, and a ton of Sun Colonies. Free again trying to push up with those Zealots, but nothing happening there. But I think that's a win for Savior, because Savior basically has halted the production of Free. Free trying to fully dedicate some, basically his supply, his resource supply out of that other base, hoping that Savior will just continue harassing his main and won't go for his resources. And I can see a lot of Overlords out, just this gigantic Air Force. And here comes Savior again, now going for the secondary, but those Archons again in position, but I think they're weak from that last attack. I'm not sure how often, or basically how many times they got hit. And now Free desperately trying to get defenses back up there, and that Archon is down, and those Corsairs are going down very quickly, and now this might be it. This could be the deciding moment for the game, whether Savior basically decides to end it right here. If he can take out that Templar archive, Free is not going to be able to produce any more Archons for a while, and he's not going to be able to morph them, basically build the Templar to morph into Archons, and just, wow, a ton of Mutalisks, even producing even more Mutalisks, and getting even more Sun Colonies down. There is no way Free is going to get into that base with ground forces, and unless he decides to do something creative like Disruption Web. Hive Tech going up for Savior, and I think Savior, what he's going to do at this point is just switch right into Big Air, basically supplement, and looks like he's gonna be able to take that Nexus down with just, he has so many Mutalisks he can just pound into it, and denying Free just any sort of res. And it looks like Free in the meantime going to try to take. He put in some Zealots at that expansion right outside Savior's base, main base, I should say. But having to pull back because those Mutalisks were coming back to kind of do a wipe-up job on those Zealots. And even though there was only 3 Sun Colonies with all those Zealots, Not a lot of air attack, not those Mutalisks, just a huge air force still, could very easily handle that, and Savior in the meantime just going to put down more Sun colonies, absolutely, and Free in a really bad position here because he's really dedicated a lot to ground, and mostly in Zealots in my opinion, and I don't think he has enough gas to keep producing these Templar at the moment. He is producing 3 gas, but his build is extremely gas heavy, and Savior in the meantime again out macroing him, and again going for that main expansion, going to just keep Free from producing anything. But Free hasn't been able to produce gas, kind of falling behind in the higher level units, losing Corsairs. As you can see, he's not able, all those ground units being caught out of position, and all those ground units, I just essentially mean those 3 Archons being caught out of position. It doesn't look like he has a Corsair fleet basically to supplement there, and Free, realizing he's in a bad position, is just going to try to force an attack again, and is going to lose a lot of forces on that man. I'm surprised that Savior's going for the Nexus instead of the Templar Archive, honestly, but he's going to go for the Nexus. Either one is a death blow at this point, in my opinion, and Archon's coming up with the Corsairs. Only about 2 Corsairs out, but looks like, and wow, managed to take the Nexus down, so only a single Nexus up for Free at the moment. Free in a really bad position, you can see kind of the sigh, but still in this, and it looks like Savior in the meantime losing a couple of Mutalisks there. Mutalisks just get eaten alive by Archons, but still not enough Archons to really deal with this gigantic force, and as soon as a Greater Spire goes up, Savior is going to basically be able to go half and half, get basically 6 oh wow, more hatcheries going down for Savior, so Savior going even more macro. That Greater Spire is up, so he pretty quickly probably going to switch into Guardians, just camp around those colonies. And my question is Free, does Free realize what's happening here? He does have that huge force, and catching a couple of drones in the open, so he's realizing that basically Savior's out of resources at his main, but that's a gigantic force for Free, and basically this is going to be the deciding factor here. I think this force is absolutely going to get owned because just so many sunken colonies down, a lot of Zealots pushing in, and those Mutalisks to supplement, and Scourge is going up, taking care of the Corsairs, and this is